Why, Idris Elba? Why? Why? You're watching Beyond the Trailers, a review of No Good Deed.
Please.
Please what?
Not to do it.
I would have thought of all those brains you've got, you would have figured out the game you're playing by now.
Terry, are you here?
Idris Elba fans have been very clear about what they'd like to see. Elba as James Bond, Elba as Jon Stewart, Elba as Black Panther. But I don't believe anyone has said Elba as a murderer and rapist. That's the kind of guy he's supposed to take down a la Luther, not become. But if No Good Deed does seem reminiscent of Luther, the BBC television series that finally put Elba on Hollywood's radar, that might be because the two projects share a director, Sam Miller. Miller has directed 8 of Luther's 14 episodes, including the entire second season. But even still, is it a good idea for Elba to try and transition from leading man to villain? He does have to try something, though, as his film career is simply not progressing. For a while, he seemed like he might be on his way to becoming the next Denzel Washington. Slumming in movies like Obsessed, Takers, and The Losers led to roles in Prometheus, Pacific Rim, and Mandela: Long Walk to Freedom, that last one earning him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor. Only now it seems he's back where he started. In what? Luther meets Obsessed? Thankfully, up next, he'll hunt down Sean Penn in The Gunman, then play an African commander of a group of mercenaries that drafts young boys against their will for True Detective's Cary Fukunaga. And Elba could even find success here with No Good Deed, as he not only stars opposite Oscar nominee Taraji P. Henson, but this thriller is produced by Will Packer, the prolific producer who's making quite a name for himself in Hollywood with comedies like Ride Along and 2 Think Like a Man movies. Packer produced both Obsessed and Takers back in the day, so you'd think he'd let Elba mix it up in one of these hit comedy franchises rather than take another swing and potential miss. Then again, maybe Elba and Packer feel they'll finally get it right this time.
They did get it right this time. I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed this film. Now, the first thing I actually want to address, though, is that we've had quite the discussions here on Beyond the Trailer about what constitutes a black film, what films deserve that label. And I believe what we settled on was that films that are self-aware, that have a lot of racial jokes in them, really play heavily into the demographic, have the label of a black film. And there's nothing wrong with that. Films like The Best Man Holiday, I think, fall into that category, and they did very well. It did very well at the box office, as do many of these movies, and they're quite good. I really enjoyed The Best Man Holiday. But Will Packer has the second film this year after Ride Along that's colorblind. No Good Deed is just a really good, solid thriller that happens to have a predominantly black cast. And I had a great time seeing it, and I know that some of you are going to be surprised about that because of the beating it's taking from most critics across the board. I believe right now it's rocking like a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I think this is a special situation. As you might have heard, Screen Gems, the last moment, the studio behind this picture, decided to cancel all the press screenings. And they said that was because they want to preserve the twist in the film. And critics got very angry, and they said, well, that's not true. You're just hiding this movie from us because it's horrible, which is usually the case when they don't screen a movie for press in advance. But in this scenario, I think they genuinely wanted to preserve this twist, which was a very good twist, by the way. And I'm not going to get even close to trying to spoil it for you. And when I heard that Screen Gems was going to such lengths to protect the twist, I went out of my way myself not to find out what it was, even when people started being able to see the movie on Friday when it was released. And I recommend you do the same thing, to go into this movie, with no spoilers or even an inclination of a spoiler, because the twist is very, very clever, and it's very well done. I didn't see it coming, and usually I can spot these twists a mile away. And it's so good that when you finish the film and you have this new information, this twist, it's one of those twists that causes you to look back at the entire film differently and to see it through new eyes. And so I think kudos to the whole creative team here in front of and behind the camera for pulling it off. And they really did pull it off. Everybody here was good. Idris Elba is very good, Taraji P. Henson, and as I said, behind the camera as well. The script, the directing. And something else that I enjoyed about this movie is it reminded me of those really good, solid thrillers in the 90s that relied on good acting, good storytelling, and good production values rather than nudity and gore. This movie never gets salacious. It's something you can feel comfortable going to see. It's not going to try to go there. So I really commend it for that as well. I had a great time seeing No Good Deed, and I really recommend that you not only check it out, and for everybody. As I said, this is a colorblind film, and I hope it enjoys the same success that Ride Along did. It's opening #1 this weekend. It's going to take the weekend, just like Ride Along was a #1 hit for Will Packer as well. And I also recommend you see it in theaters because it's one of those fun movies to go and see with a crowd. It had a little bit of an interactive quality when I went to see it, and it made an even more enjoying viewing experience because it was genuinely scary, but it had some of those really stupid horror film moments where you're like, Taraji P. Henson, why don't you just put a bow on yourself? But I think her character was really good and redeemed herself at the end. Really fun movie. So that's my review of No Good Deed. I hope you'll consider checking it out. If you've seen the film, leave your thoughts down below, and you can check out some more episodes right now.